Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, we're back in Grand Theft Auto Online and we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in GTA Online. We have some cool stuff going on this week. We've got some new content, some new cars, things like that. So we're going to get into that, but before we do, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. A ton of you guys watch these videos, not a lot of you subscribe, so consider doing that if you enjoy the content and you find it useful. With that being said, the weekly challenge this week is going to be to win 2 adversary modes. For doing that, you'll receive $100,000. On Double Money and Double RP this week, we have the short trip missions with Franklin and Lamar. These are pretty fun, gotta check them out for sure. Now we also have Double Money and Double RP on the Community Race series, which is something that I do recommend checking out. I recommend checking this out every week. It's a lot of fun. If you got some friends to play with, this is definitely something that you should do. Now in addition to this, we also have double production speed in the math lab. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of that this week as well, because that is going to effectively be a pretty good money bonus. And if you pair it with the mansion boost, it's not bad. It's on like 6x, which is pretty good. Furthermore, we have Double Money, Double RP, and double research progress on bunker research missions. You're going to get those by calling Agent 14 on your phone and requesting them. So these are going to be pretty good to take advantage of this week as well, especially if you're trying to get that bunker research done. Now, furthermore, we have 4 times money on bodyguard and associate salaries. So the CEO guys are going to be getting paid $40,000 every 15 minutes this week, as opposed to the usual $10,000. So that's kind of okay, I guess, as well. We have a brand new adversary mode that's a play on Deadline, but it's called Deadline Duet, and it's on triple money and triple RP. I think this is probably going to be pretty fun. I'm going to be playing it this week, even though I hate Deadline, but I think it should be okay. Getting started with discounts this week, we have a property discount, and that is going to be on that lab. Now these are 40% off this week, so this is something I definitely recommend buying. Now, if you're going to be buying one of these this week, make sure you buy the Grand Sonora Desert location. It's literally the perfect location. It is right in the middle of the map. Now, it is a little annoying when you do your sale mission that you have to go up the dirt hill, but there's a way around this, and that's by taking the road that goes past Madrasa's ranch and goes out to the casino. It's going to save you so much time, even though it's technically a longer distance. Not going up the hill is going to save you a ton of time. So if you get trash trucks, go down that road towards the casino. That's going to be way better for you. Now, the Grand Sonora Desert location, the reason I recommend it, again, center of the map, but something to note with all of the other businesses like the El Barro Heights location, the Terminal location, the Paleto Bay location, this goes for every MC business in the game. A lot of the time, your sale missions are going to spawn at the polar opposite end of the map. For example, the El Barro Heights lab, I own it on my Xbox character, and when I do sale missions with this, if you get float planes, you still have to go up to the Alamo Sea to get into them. And same with the helicopter sale mission, you have to go to Mackenzie Field to get into them. The boat sale mission, you have to go to the Alamo Sea to get into them. It's ridiculous, and it costs way more money than the Grand Sonora Desert location. So this is the cheapest. It's dead center of the map. This is the one to get. Just get the Grand Sonora Desert. Don't worry about any of these other ones. They're not worth it. Now, in addition to the lab itself being discounted, the upgrades inside are also discounted. You're going to want to make sure that you get all of those this week. The equipment upgrade, staff upgrade, and security upgrade. Particularly, you're going to want the security if you have the mansion security, because that means it's not going to get raided anymore, which is awesome. And that's a big problem with the MC businesses, a huge complaint of a lot of people. That is going to prevent that from happening. Even if you don't have the money for it right now, try to grind that money this week, because it's going to save you more money in the long run. For example, getting the security upgrade, I mean, you're going to save 40% this week if you do it. So get it sooner than later. Starting off for vehicle discounts, and technically not a discount, but I thought I would make mention of it. The Pfister Astral or Astrale is in GTA Online for everybody now. It is no longer a GTA Plus exclusive thing. Everybody can buy this vehicle. It has a missile lock-on jammer as well as an HSW upgrade available for it. That HSW upgrade makes it, I believe, the 3rd fastest sports classic car in the game top speed-wise, but with the handling of the Astral, which is pretty damn good, I think this is probably the best sports classic car in the game to race with. So If you want to win sports classic races, this is probably the car that you're going to want to own. Under the two-door section on Legendary, we have the Fist of Comet S2 going for $985,000. Now, this is with the trade price. Now, if you don't have the trade price, it's probably going to be about $1,300,000, which is a lot of money. And either way, I don't recommend it, which sucks to say because I love the Porsche 911 in real life. I think it's an awesome car. And even in game, I love the customization and the look of this car. It's fantastic. However, the driving experience is nothing but disappointing. This car has a serious oversteer problem, and it's got a snap understeer problem, and it has no grip, which really sucks. And it is a huge regret of mine to have to tell you guys to not buy this thing this week. As much as I love this car and as cool as it could have been, Rockstar kind of dropped the ball with it a little bit. It's just not that good of a car, in my opinion at least. Feel free to test it for yourselves, but chances are you're probably going to be disappointed. It is just simply not that good of a vehicle, so this is going to get the avoid stamp this week, unfortunately. Scrolling a little further down, we have the overflawed Autark going for $1,368,500. This is a car that is very customizable. It's rear-wheel drive. It's pretty cool. It has great handling. The top speed is not that excellent. It's about 123 miles per hour, which is not terribly fast, especially if you have HSW on your platform. However, if you don't have HSW on your platform, this is one of the better supercars to race with. Now, you're probably not going to win any races with it, just saying, but it is a better performing supercar. It's pretty cool looking. It's got some really unique customization, a pretty unique looking vehicle. Overall, though, I do feel like it is a little bit too expensive. So this one's going to get the avoid stamp this week as well, just simply because it's too much money. However, that doesn't mean that if you love the Autark, if you've been saving up for it, if you want it and everything like that, buy it this week. If you are an Autark fan, if you really want this car, then get it. But for people that don't really care, it's nothing that special, so I would avoid it. Scrolling further down still, we have the Emperor ETR1. This is a car that I love personally, but I'm not going to recommend it this week. It is very, very good in terms of handling. However, that's about it. In every other metric, it's not that great. It's a little bit too expensive in my opinion for what you're getting. It's nearly a $2 million car regularly, and it's going for almost $1.4 million this week. It has barely any customization options. It has 2 livery options and then a no livery option as well. It does have the missile lock-on jammer now, which is pretty cool, and like I said, it handles fantastically, but other than that, not really that special. Really cool car, but I just simply don't recommend it for most people. Again, if you really want an ETR1, definitely get it while it's on discount, but for most people, you're going to want to avoid it. Up next, Gallivanter Baller STD, $1,200,500. This is one of the best SUVs in the entire game. In terms of racing for non-HSW vehicles, it's very, very good in the SUV category. It also has a fantastic amount of customization, and it has Imani tech upgrades. But something to note is that it does not have the armor plating, and it does not get the front mounted machine guns either. However, it does get the missile lock-on jammer, which is cool. I believe it gets the oil slick proximity mine. I think it does. And something that is unique about the Baller STD that most new Imani tech vehicles don't get is that this thing actually has bullet resistant windows, which is something we don't really see that often. So that is pretty cool. Overall, the Baller STD it's a lot of money, but if you're in the market for an SUV that's got some good protection, it's pretty good for that. And in terms of performance and customization, it's also pretty good. So if you're in the market for an SUV, I would definitely say to get this one this week while it's on discount. I mean, you're saving $500,000, which is pretty damn good, and you're getting a good SUV. It's all-wheel drive, it handles well, it's the best handling Baller by a long shot. Acceleration's good, top speed is okay for an SUV. Overall, I do recommend this one for most people. Under the motorcycles category, we have the Western Power Surge discounted this week. Now, this thing has a fantastic speed glitch that makes it one of the fastest bikes in the entire game, but keep in mind that is only in a straight line. As soon as you stop getting the wheelie speed glitch, this thing will just peter out completely and it'll go back to its regular top speed of about 130 miles per hour. It has some good customization, however, that's about it. If you want something that's really fast in a straight line, then you should get the Power Surge. It is a good bike at the end of the day. For $1.1 million, it's fairly cheap. But if you have like the HSW Hakuchu Drag on your platform, there's really no need to get the Power Surge because that bike does it all. The Power Surge is especially cool for people that don't play with HSW on their platform, I would say. So if you don't have HSW on your platform, I would say the Power Surge is probably a worthy pickup this week. But if you have HSW available, don't bother. On the Benny's website, we have the Trufe Nero discounted by 30% off, going for $1,008,000 this week. Now, you can upgrade the Nero into the Nero Custom, which is pretty cool. The Nero itself is a cool car. It's based off of the Bugatti Chiron in real life, which is an awesome vehicle. It's all-wheel drive. It's fairly quick in a straight line. However, the top speed is not that awesome at only about 124 miles per hour, which is just not that fantastic, unfortunately. It does have an active rear spoiler, which is pretty cool. Overall, I really like it. For $1 million, I kind of feel like you can't really go wrong with it. But if you're not in the market for like an OG sort of ish supercar, I would say to avoid the Nero. But for those of you that are interested in it, I would definitely say to get it this week. But understand it's not going to compete in the supercar category anymore. Whether you have HSW or whether you don't, it doesn't matter. This thing is just not that fast. So definitely more of a car centered around free mode driving. Over on Warstock, we have two avoids, and those are going to be the weaponized dinghy and the HVY Vitir. Both of these are absolutely awful purchases. Out of the two, the weaponized dinghy is like significantly better, but the Vitir especially is like absolutely garbage. It is a Pegasus vehicle. It's a Pegasus vehicle. It's slow, it's miserable, it sucks. It's $855,000. And I believe this is with the trade price. So just don't. Just please don't. The weaponized dinghy is also a Pegasus vehicle. However, at least it has the 50 cal on the front of it and it comes in a different color compared to the regular dinghy. Other than that though, there's nothing really special about it. So again, I would say to avoid the weaponized dinghy. I just don't think it's worth it. However, scrolling further down, we have the Western Rogue for $840,000, and that's if you have the trade price. Now, if you don't have the trade price, it's going to be around $1 million. And either way, this is something you absolutely should be buying this week. Now, you will need to own a hangar in order to buy it, so that's something to keep in mind. And you're going to want a hangar workshop in your hangar as well if you do decide to buy it. But even if you don't have that, I'd still buy the Rogue now. You can always get that at a later date. The Rogue is a two-seater. It has bombs. It has dual explosive machine guns. It has homing missiles. It has non-homing missiles. It's extremely maneuverable, and with that vehicle workshop in your hangar, you can change the handling, upgrade the engine, add liveries, and change the color of the aircraft. Overall, it is just a fantastic plane, especially for PvP and for dogfighting in particular. It's very, very gifted when it comes to that. So if you're interested, I would definitely recommend getting it. Next up on Southern, we have a couple of Tuners DLC vehicles discounted this week, the Volcar Warner HKR and the Karen Futo GTX. Now, the Karen Futo GTX, in my opinion, is the best drift tunable car in the entire game, largely due to the fact that it's just so small. However, the Karen Futo is out now, and it's so much cheaper than the GTX, but it is a different model. So depending on which one you like more, it might be worth the extra $800,000 to get the Futo GTX. I personally feel like it's not, but if you're interested in that, then definitely do that. Now, if you're interested in the Futo GTX, I would say buy it. However, for everybody who's not interested in this thing especially, avoid it. It is not a good vehicle by any stretch. However, something I would avoid even more so is the Volcar Warner HKR. This is a dreadful vehicle. It's cool in theory, and that's about where every good feature about it ends. It has a lot of customization, I guess, is the one positive thing I would say about it. Other than that, though, it is so miserably slow. It can barely make it up some of the hills in Vinewood, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, customization's great. Everything else is literally awful. $660,000 is a crazy price even on discount, so I just don't recommend it. We also have the Benefactor Vorschlag Hammer for $1,253,000 this week. This thing is drift tunable. It's one of the better drift tunable cars in my opinion. I do feel like this is kind of an expensive price for it, but if you're in the market for one, it's definitely not a bad price to pay. It's a lot better than $1.8 million, which is a crazy price to begin with. Customization wise, there's not a whole lot that you can do to it. There's enough to like kind of satisfy you, but that's about where it ends. It's a cool vehicle. If you want it, definitely get it while it's on discount. However, if you're not especially interested in it just off of first glance, you're probably going to want to avoid it anyways. Within the casino this week, we have the Invitero Cockett D1 available to be won this week, so you should definitely come here and try to do that. Within the LS car meet this week, we have the Ubermacht Reinhardt available to be won, and all you're going to need to do is place first in an LS car meet series race to win this. It's a $1.6 million car. It's a BMW station wagon, and honestly, it's got some really cool customization. It's all-wheel drive. It's a 4-seater. Pretty cool vehicle. Definitely try to win it this week. It's pretty simple, so you should definitely take advantage of it for sure. We also have the Ocelot Lynx available this week. In the LS car meet, we have the Bravado Verlier, and we have the Lampadati Pagol. Now, the Pagol is a really cool car. No customization really, though, so for 400 grand, kind of a lot of money. But it is a pretty rare vehicle, so that is something to keep in mind. We have the Bravado Verlier for $695, a really cool vehicle, really awesome sounding as well. Not on discount though, unfortunately, so kind of, I don't know, it depends. It depends how much money you have. If you have a lot of money, I'd say get this and get the Pagol. And then when it comes to the Lynx, it's just so overpriced. It's $1,735,000. One of the most overpriced cars in all of GTA Online history. Awesome vehicle though. Actually an awesome vehicle. It has a little bit of an understeer issue, but its rear wheel drive customization's cool for the time frame when it came out. I really like it. I have a Lynx. I love my Lynx. But overall for most people, probably going to want to avoid it, to be honest. And then of course we have the HSW monstrosity here. If you want to buy it, it's going to cost you $2,700,000, which kind of a lot of money, but it's one of the best off-roaders in the game. So consider it, maybe, unless you already have one. The fine art file is going to be your priority file for the week. Your salvage yard robberies include the cargo ship robbery for the Grotte Furia, which is the top tier vehicle of the week. The McTony robbery is going to get you the Classique Broadway, and the Gangbanger robbery will get you the Bravado Greenwood, but none of them are claimable, shockingly. Here at Simeon's, we got the Dinka Enduro, which is a little bit overpriced. I feel like this thing's been in Simeon's a lot. Oh, sorry, it's only 48 grand. Never mind, it's not overpriced at all. That's a really good and cool bike for the price. For some reason, I confused that with a different bike, but I feel like that has been in here a lot. We also have the Western Rat bike for $48,000 as well. We have the Declasse Tornado Rat Rod, which is just horrifically overpriced. I mean, it's like 400K. I mean, that's not horrifically overpriced, but it's expensive for what it is. There's definitely better cars to buy this week in the dealerships, like the Verlier, for example. The Hijak Rustin, great driver's car in GTA, I'm not gonna lie. 475K though is kind of a lot of money, and the reason it's so expensive is because of those aftermarket wheels and the paint, I think it is. But cool vehicle nonetheless. And then there's the Lampadati Michele GT, which is overpriced, $1,245,000, and not a good car, so I don't recommend that one. In luxury autos, we have the Ubermacht Sentinel GTS available, and the Vorschlag Hammer as well. Nothing too special. The gun van location today, on the day that this video is coming out, is here up at the Land Act Reservoir Dam. And within the gun van, we have the combat shotgun, we have the service carbine, which is 30% off this week. The compact EMP launcher is also in here, the RPG marksman pistol, and the pool Q. For throwables, we got proximity mines, sticky bombs, and Molotovs, as well as body armor, as always for 10% off, so that's pretty cool. Your RC Bandito time trial today is Cypress Flats. Your Junk Energy time trial is of course Mirror Park. Your regular time trial is Cypress Flats, and your HSW time trial is Alamo C to La Puerta. So it's going to start right here, and it's going to end down here right near the scrapyard. So there you have it, guys. That's been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, consider dropping a like, and again, subscribe if you guys are new. A lot of people watch, not a lot of people subscribe. I do appreciate those of you that are subscribed though, of course. But anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow in how to make money this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. So stay tuned for that video. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.